Okay, so this week the name of God being reverenced is Jehovah-Machsi, which means Lord my refuge. Okay, so refuge. What is refuge? Refuge is a shelter or protection, protection from danger, protection from trouble. It's a hiding place, a hideout, a hideaway. A refuge is a place of resort and safety. Okay. The principal words in the Old Testament are Machsi, which they spell it Machceh, and the other one is Manak, which they spell that Manoc. Both apply chiefly to God as a refuge for his people. Okay. The King James Version, refuge means dwelling place, a high tower, also shelter and hope. So Psalm 61, for referencing what I was just speaking about, Psalm 61 verse 3 is, for thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. And Jeremiah 17:17 says, be not a terror unto me. Thou art my hope in the day of evil. Okay? Like Jeremiah proclaimed his trust and hope in God alone, not in the folly of most of the people of Judah. Did you catch that? Not in the folly of most of the people of Judah. 3 times the charm, right? Not in the folly of most people, of most of the people of Judah. How about most of what is folly? Wicked person, evil character. How do you discern that somebody is a wicked person or have an evil character? Are you going by the folly of another person's say? What another person say? Is that how you detect that, or are you actually listening to what the Holy Spirit is saying? So, how about trusting God? Trust. How much do you trust God? Let me tell you something. This is how much I trust God. I trust God enough to GPS me anywhere he wants me to go. I remember a time where I was sitting in a church, and I was a member of this church, but I always wanted to assist and, serve and be a help to certain individuals. And I couldn't because it was other people that they have known longer or they have grew up with that they allowed to help them. So when I would try to come help, the other person would step up like, no, I got this. But they've been there longer, and I felt really bad. I was like, well, you know what, God, that's okay, that's cool, let them do that. But you know what? Send me somewhere where I can help. Send me somewhere where I can assist somebody or I can help. Even if even if they are like related to me, do I know anybody that's in the church or have a title that is, related to me that I can help? Even if they wrong, God, I'll still help them till I can't help nobody, until you tell me to move. So I asked God to go to this church, and the street of the church was in a city that I know of. So I know where I'm going. So I get on this freeway, and God is telling me to get off on a certain exit. And I was like, well, okay. But I was going to get off on another exit because I think I know where I'm going. I think I know what city I'm going to. So I get off on this exit that God tells me to get off on. And I'm driving for a while. And all of a sudden, this Takoma, white pickup Takoma, jumps in front of me, slows me down. So now you know I'm ticked. Oh yeah, I'm real. I'm going off. I'm telling him, you see me coming, and why you just gonna jump in front of me? But I'm going off. So while I'm going off, and the truck ends up turning on the next block over. He ends up turning on the next block over, right? So I'm real mad now. But guess what? While I'm fussing and I'm driving by, guess what? God is saying, that's the church. I was like, okay. So yeah, cool down. Yeah. So I made a turn and went around, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is the church. Okay. Thanks, God. Boop. So God would GPS you if you're listening. What about other incidents? Another situation. I went, we just had me and my auntie, we went on a road trip. She wanted to go on a road trip. So God ends up telling us to go. Well, she lives in Jacksonville, Florida. So God tells me to go to Faith Alive. Faith Alive Ministries. Yeah. In India, South Bend, Indiana. So I'm driving, but I'm so alert. And I'm like, God, this is such an anointing, because I've never been this alert. And I had to drive 9 hours to get from Jacksonville, Tennessee to South Bend, Indiana. Then on top of that, we get out there and my auntie is like, Shadana, I can't even see the roads. It's dark. I said, no, she said, I can't see the lanes. I didn't want to let her know that I really couldn't see the lanes either. But I was like, Holy Spirit, I feel your presence still on me. So I know you're going to carry us right on through. But I need to know what lane am I in? Am I in the right lane? Because it's only 2 lanes. So now I don't know whether I'm on the oncoming lane or whether I'm on the lane that I'm supposed to be going on, right? I'm supposed to be going forward on, or is the other lane coming my way? And sure enough, it wasn't like it was 2 lanes. I see 2 lanes. I know it's 2 lanes here, but I'm not sure whether these 2 lanes are going the same direction. So no, they happen to not be going the same direction. I need South Bend, Indiana to get some fluorescent lines or dots, so that the visitors can see what lane we in when we get out there, for one. So anyways, I go to this church. It was cool. By the time I got there, I was really just tired. I was like, okay, God, now I feel your strength and left, because I feel real weak. And yeah, I'm ready to go to a hotel and go pray. But I'm gonna chill. You said be here. I'm here. Drop this message off. What else? Is there anything else you want me to say? Is there anything else you want to tell me while I'm here? And in the midst of the service, God was telling me that this pastor, the senior pastor of the church, he was preaching, and he said he's going to be he's going to do greater works than Bishop McClendon. And I was like, oh, really? I don't see that. But just because I don't see it doesn't mean that it ain't happening. So I'm going to go by what you say, God. You say that? Oh, cool. God bless him. Glory to God. Let's see. Other situations, very trusting God. Me trusting God. I remember, there was a tweet that showed up. I always wanted to go to theology school. And I saw this tweet that said, Melody School of Theology. And I was like, oh, cool. I want to go to a theology school. Let's check this out, right? So I know the address. I got the address. And the address actually was in the same city that my job was in. So my job, when I got to my job, I said, I'm look up this address and see how close it is to my job, where I was at the time. So I did, and the address to the school was like 5 minutes away from my job, and I was like, okay, God, it's a scam, because I know I've been scammed on this tweet thing before. Now, is this something they trying to lure me into or what? So I go check it out anyways, And lo and behold, it was absolutely the right place where I was supposed to be. It was it's called Breath of the Spirit ministry, but they also have the Melody School of Theology. And so I was just sitting in my car praying and asking God, like, God, is this for you? Are you, is this still you? So an individual next to me, I talked to, and I asked her, and she was like, yeah, this is it. Come on in. And so she welcomed me in, and I walked in. I was like, wow, thanks God. This is cool. This is just where I wanted to be. And I'm telling you, if you are going to be a follower of Jesus, you need to know something, and get an understanding of Jesus's culture. Just get an understanding of Jesus's culture so that you can understand the Bible more. Yeah, I think it's very important. And so, yeah, that's very important. So refuge. And it's about trusting God. So wherever you may be, trust that God will have you protected. Trust that God protects you. And if you're going through some like situation where, you might be, I don't know, it might be a little stressful. You might be a little stressed out, or, I don't know, anxiety maybe. Anxiety might even kick in. Find something peaceful, therapeutic. I had to find something therapeutic that will help you to be calm. I had to take a lift the other day home, and while I was sitting in this lift, I was so uncomfortable because I guess because I'm so used to driving, and I was looking at this guy like, this man got 10 to 2. I need him to relax on this wheel, because he looked like he real scared of driving. You driving from 10 to 2. I mean, it wasn't that he was driving from 10 to 2, but he was holding the steering wheel so tight. That makes me uncomfortable. If you have anxiety, then I feel your anxiety. I need him to relax. I said, Holy Spirit, I need this man to relax. I said, I don't understand how people can relax while sitting in the back seat and somebody else is driving them. This ain't comfortable for me, God. But you know what he told me? He said, this is therapeutic for some people to ride in a vehicle and they don't have to drive. I was like, well, it ain't therapeutic for me. I'm surprised. It wasn't therapeutic for me. I love traveling. I enjoyed the trip going from Jacksonville, Tennessee to Indiana. I love it. I love the drive, and I got to experience the snow. I'm in sunny California. We don't have no snow. Okay. So I was telling my cousin when I got back to Jacksonville, Tennessee, the day that I was leaving, it started sleeting. And I was like, oh, cousin, this is the first time I've actually been in snow. Really. I said, I like it. It's nice. And I always remember on my drive, whenever I'm traveling, I drive touring buses. So whenever I'm traveling, what I love about driving is the scenery. I get to see how God created the mountains. Look at that creation. Man can't put no mountains there. So it's so awesome. Smokey Norfolk has a song that's called Where Would I Be? Is it Where Would I Be? I think it's Where Would I Be? And I know the first thing he's talking about is the snow. What kind of God can make a morsel of snow fall from the blue sky? I'm like, wow. So when I was out there in the snow, I was like, yeah, I was thinking about that song. Like, yeah, wow. I know people that live in the snow all the time, they kind of take it for granted or don't pay no attention to it. But as for me being in the snow, I was like, wow. And I'm in sunny California all the time. So it was a nice trip. I love traveling by driving land, because I get to see that scenery, to see the creation, God's creation. When you're in an airplane, you can't see nothing. You in a box and you just moving. I didn't like it. I think I was getting a little anxiety while I was on a plane going to Jacksonville. Yeah. But um also for anxiety, I know that God said that's one way to, people can relieve their relaxation is to ride. Another way, a lot of times when anxiety comes for me, it was a little challenging this week, and I know I felt that spiritual attack. So to keep me calm, but also it also helps me to listen to the Holy Spirit. I wanted to make car seat cover, a seat cover for my car. And so I got the fabric, and so I had to pray and ask God, like, God, how do I make this seat cover? I know what I want it to look like. I want the top portion right here to be tight when it's on. So he showed me how to make this tight. I have something on the side here where it's an opening because my seat has this latch where I can, to pull it and to pull on it so that my seat will go, my seat will recline. And so then I said, yes, God, and then I also want the bottom to be, that fitted too when it's on there. And so he showed me all of this, and this actually stretched like all over the whole seat. And then at the end, when it covers the bottom part, it covers the bottom. So for me, sewing something and listening to how God is telling me how to sew it is very therapeutic for me. It's very relaxing. And I just love to hear the voice of God when he speaks to me. So I don't know if, you may need to find something that's there that's therapeutic for you in this season. And just remember, trust God. Trust God to keep your mind at peace, to keep your mind sane. He will do it. So trust God. That refuge, you need that Jehovah-Machsi. Lord, my refuge. Lord, your refuge. Trust him. He's going to be your refuge in this season. He will do it. So, all right. God bless.